Hello everyone, this is Jen Leonard and welcome to Altenew's September 2023 release video hop. There is a giveaway with $300 in prizes, so make sure you like, subscribe, and leave a comment for a chance to win. For today's video, I will be featuring Altenew's Magical Forest Ensemble, which includes the Mushroom Greeting Stamp Set, Mushroom Garden Layering Stencil Set, the Shining Crystals 3D Embossing Folder, and matching stencil set, which has step-by-step layering instructions right inside the packaging. To finish off the card, I will use the Sunshine Greeting hot foil plate. Using a piece of the Cute Fruits paper pack from last month's release, I wanted to pull out the greens and the yellows and the blues from the Cute Fruit paper to create a really vibrant crystal that you will see just in a bit. Now, the stencil packaging is very detailed, but here is Jen's special tip. So my tip is to start with Stencil 3 with that base layer, because that will give you a center, a focal point to put your crystals on. So you can watch me go through all of the steps with inking and whatnot, but what I really want to teach you during this video is that these stencils are very, they kind of butt up against each other, like tight. So when you are putting every stencil layer and you go in line, A1, A2, A3, and so forth, what I love that Altenew does is that there is a little bit of an etching already on the stencil that will overlay on exactly the coloring you just did. So what makes this so, I think, unique to Altenew is that there is no mistake, because the line is there that you just stenciled, and then when you put the next one into place, it sort of like fits like a puzzle piece. Now, I will be completely honest here. There is sometimes a bit of fidgeting that you have to do to tighten up, and just depending on your inking technique and exactly how you place all of these little crystal pieces, you might have to just smidge over the stencil just a little bit to get all of the coloring correct. So for example, you see me pointing here. That was me saying, all right, this stencil is the teeniest little opening. And when you lift that up, sometimes you have to go back in and just do a little bit of fidgeting. But other than that, oh my gosh, what I love about this stencil so much is all of the color variations that you can create. I've done blues. And for this example, I've done yellows and blues and greens. So really, it is all of your imagination. And I'm sure you're watching as I'm pulling up each layer, how much this is just popping to life. It really is a cool stencil. But you know what makes a stencil even more awesome? A matching 3D embossing folder. You guessed it, Altenew knocked it out of the park once again and has a matching 3D embossing folder. And it butts up perfectly with the stenciling that you just did. So I was just having some fun here. I'm like, oh, what if I just put the bit of pattern paper from the Juicy Fruit, I think that's what it's called. No, I'm sorry, Cute Fruit. Juicy Fruit is a gum, pardon me. Just to put that embossing folder onto that paper and added a sentiment, like right there, that is a card. But I'm digressing. Let me get back to the card we are creating. So I took the completed stencil and I ran it through that embossing folder and I loved it. It just popped everything up. But I wanted to go a step further, so I now am fussy cutting the entire stencil piece out so that it almost looks like the crystals are like popping up off of the page. Once my fussy cutting is done, I'm taking out my inks and giving it a little swish swish to give it a little blending on the edges, and even that little bit of extra swishing of some ink gives it a little bit more pop of color. You know we all love dimension in card making, and using Altenew's 3D dimensional foam tape, we are adding lots of little strips on all those crystals and going to adhere it to our card. How cool is this? That little dimension really makes a difference. So off camera, I did my hot foiling using the Shine Bright little hot foil plate. You know me, I love to hot foil, and I do have a link above for the video I just made on hot foiling tips from before. To finish off this card, I'm just adding a couple of gold sequins for a little extra pizzazz. So here is card 1 all completed, and let's go on to card 2. The Mushroom Garden stencil set is a real winner with so many variations that you can create with lots of colors. You can do monotone, you can do a variety of colors. It's really up to you. Today, I'm going to be focusing on the Red Cosmos Fresh Dye Ink set along with the Summer Afternoon Fresh Dye Ink set. And because there are so many little pieces to the mushrooms, sometimes you will have to mask off pieces of the mushrooms so that you are able to have two-toned mushrooms. So I'm just going around having some fun, putting all the different colors on the mushrooms. So next up, you're going to see me switching from one blending brush to the fine detail blending brush. Because like I said, there are so many little bits. It reminds me when you're a little kid and you have a coloring book and you really want to add the extra detail to your coloring. It is really fun, and the more you play with the stencil, you're going to say to yourself, wow, I wonder what it's going to look like if I change up the color pattern and have it in blues or grays or purples and pinks. But right now we're just working with pinks and yellows for now. But pretty soon we have to bring in some green because we have these beautiful ferns. And I can't wait to see what color variations that you are going to make with your own set. There are 4 stencils to this set, and each one has its own little bit of detail. The final stencil really is what pops your final imaging to life. And I wanted to bring in one of the most recent colors Altenew offered, which is Pool. And I'm finding that Pool ink, honestly, is almost like a neutral to me. It really isn't a neutral, but when you add that to a lot of vibrant colors, it really completely changes the outlook with a green. Blues and greens are always a good color variation, don't you think? So now I'm putting all the little mushroom dots on here, and I'm going in with Paper Bag this time, which is one of the darker colors in the Summer Afternoon set. So remember earlier when I masked off the stems of the mushroom? Well, I completely forgot that I never went back and finished it. So I had to backtrack a little bit. All is good. And now I'm finishing off the mushroom completely. The pairing of the pinks, yellows, and browns really are darling. So now I'm getting ready to pop up my base on to a piece of pink cardstock that I have. And now I'm taking the matching stamp set and also stamping it on the same color background. Once I die cut the image out with the add-on die set, I'm going to take one of the sayings in the stamp set, "Love you so much." There are some really cute sayings here, and I can't wait to send this along to one of my dear friends. So just to put a little finishing touch, I took some green enamel dots to give a little interest to the main cutout mushroom. I can't thank you enough for joining me on this hop today, and please remember to give a thumbs up and some lovely comments to all of our crafters. If you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and ring that bell for some future notifications. and I look forward to crafting with you real soon. Bye-bye.